as Anthony "Rumble" Johnson faces off against Kevin Burns, who's coming off a stunning upset in his UFC debut.
In the talent-rich welterweight division, there are no tune-ups or easy fights. That adage has never been truer than tonight's matchup between Kevin Burns and Anthony Johnson, which pits two of the division's up-and-comers in a clash of technique versus raw power.
He's hungry. You know, he had his first win over a huge opponent. I just had a big win over Tommy Spear, and this is our first main card. So I think both of us are going to go in there and really give it our all and see who's the better fighter.
I think people assume that Anthony Johnson is the more powerful fighter, but at this point, they haven't had a chance to see the skills and the power that I possess, as well as the technique.
2 months ago, Iowa's Kevin Burns was battling it out on the local scene and hoping for a shot at the big time. Tonight, he enters the octagon, coming off an impressive submission win over Juan Carnero at UFC 85, and the drive and determination to make it 2 in a row with a win tonight over Anthony Johnson.
I don't see him in any way, shape, or form, whether it be on the floor or standing, beating me in this fight. I've done nothing but prepare for him. I'm ready, and I will come out victorious.
If you look at Anthony Johnson's knockout wins over Tommy Spear and Chad Reiner, which lasted a combined 64 seconds, it's clear that it's a bad idea to rumble with the Georgia native. And while he does possess a wide array of skills, he is focused on ending the night of Kevin Burns quickly and dynamically.
I want to crack him hard as I can, give him a 1-2, sit right down the pipe, and let him know, hey, you're in the UFC now. You're not in any of these smaller leagues. You know, you're in here with the big boys.
Our tale of the tape for this welterweight matchup. Anthony Johnson, 24 years old, 4 years younger than Kevin Burns. Johnson is 3 inches taller and will enjoy a 4-inch reach advantage. Here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC welterweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a mixed martial artist holding a professional record of 7 wins with 1 loss. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall, weighing in at 171 pounds. Fighting out of Des Moines, Iowa, Kevin the Fire Burns. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record of 5 wins with 1 loss. Standing 6 feet 2 inches tall, he weighed in at 170 pounds. Fighting out of San Jose, California, Anthony "Rumble" Johnson. And when the action begins, our referee in charge of this contest is Steve Mazzagatti.
Steve Mazzagatti, our referee. The beautiful Edith signifies the start of this fight, scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds between Anthony Johnson and Kevin Burns. Here we go.
Anthony Johnson comes out quickly with the kick.
Big right hand by Kevin Burns right off the bat, though.
Burns very confident.
Kevin Burns is taking it to Anthony Johnson.
Kevin Burns may be the surprise of the year so far with that huge upset victory over Juan Carnero.
Yeah, not just an upset, but an upset by submission over a fantastic jiu-jitsu player. Anthony Johnson has some really good jiu-jitsu himself, but he's most known in the UFC for his knockout power and his really explosive athleticism.
Well, he's a very big welterweight. He's been training and striking with Kung Lee, who's one of the best in the world right now. Kevin Burns, same time, he knows his jiu-jitsu and composure are what may lead him to victory.
Burns throwing some nice knees to the body here. Knees to the legs well. Nice elbow over the top.
At one point, Kevin Burns, by day he worked at Wells Fargo, by night he was a marketing undergrad at William Penn, and of course, trained to be an Ultimate Fighter. Oh, caught a big left there. Burns with a right.
Burns is swinging.
And
he's
again,
doing a good job of ducking under some of those punches, but Anthony Johnson's got that kind of power that one shot can turn the whole fight around.
absolutely. Burns is pushing forward, though. Good body shot.
shake.
Joe, I mean, it's Kevin Burns being the aggressor here right now.
Yeah, I think he's trying to throw Anthony Johnson off. If you look at the fight with Rich Clemente really pushed Anthony Johnson and wore him out, eventually got a rear naked choke, and just used his tenacity and his experience to overcome the younger, stronger fighter. And, Kevin Burns seems to be following that kind of game plan.
Timeout.
That was inadvertent, of course. Anthony Johnson, 2 wins inside the octagon in a combined 64 seconds. Here's the shot.
All right.
You mean that's the inside leg kick? It happens all the time.
Yep.
Completely accidental.
Burns is okay. They're back. Burns in the white trunks. Johnson, good head movement that time. Might have got poked in the eye there. Big takedown by Anthony Johnson. He might have gotten poked in the eye, but now he seems to be fine. He was squinting a second ago, Joe, with the left eye.
He's still squinting on the ground, Mike.
Yep.
Anthony Johnson, he's got to be careful here. Kevin Burns is a very good guard. We saw it in the Horn-Carnero fight. Submitted Horn with a choke. A triangle from the bottom.
In Burns' last fight prior to entering the octagon, he fought with a broken hand and still won by triangle. Young kid from Iowa, born and raised, now fighting out of Des Moines. Black belt in Taekwondo, 4-stripe blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Anthony Johnson in the top position in the guard of Kevin Burns. Burns very good off his back. He may look for a submission here. Johnson looks to punish.
Anthony Johnson is no stranger to jiu-jitsu himself. He's trained by Higan Machado, so I'm sure he knows what to do here to defend himself against Kevin's triangle attempts or whatever else he's going to try off his back.
Johnson.
Right now he's not doing too much from the top, though.
Nope. Johnson is a very powerful man. Walks over 200 pounds, fighting in the welterweight division. Still shows great conditioning. Was a national junior college wrestling champion at the same junior college that Quentin Rampage Jackson was able to wrestle at.
So far, Kevin Burns has done an excellent job of avoiding punishment from the bottom. He's controlling Anthony's posture, using his legs to hold the body down and also his hands, and landing little small shots from the bottom, but just looking for openings and looking to defend himself. He showed a very good defensive guard against Horn-Carnero as well. Very, very difficult guard to pass.
Both gentlemen talked about mutual respect for the other's skills as they got prepared for this matchup. 1 minute remains in round 1. Fight scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. Not surprisingly, the submission victory over Carnero was submission of the night at UFC 84 in London, England. Took that fight on about 9 days' notice at Kevin Burns. Not taking a lot of damage. Johnson trying to get through.
All right, stop.
Here we go. Steve Mazzagatti going to stand him up. And one would have thought before full advantage for Johnson standing up. But Burns has been good. Good teep. That rear push kick connected to the midsection. And now Johnson teeing away.
Kevin Burns is still pushing it. He's, standing up. He's really showing that he's got a lot of skills in that area as well. A lot of people would have thought that he would have wanted to take this fight to the ground as quick as possible.
Good first round.
Kevin Burns got a little cut over his right eye.
Doing great.
He's getting tired. He can't take it.
Keep pressing
him. But I need you to stay in your guard. Keep your stance tight. Don't over-engage in there. Get your combinations and move. Go.
Good job for him.
Round 2, ready to go.
All right, second round. Now bring it on.
Here we go. You heard the corner of Kevin Burns saying, keep the pressure on him. He's wearing down. He's running out of gas.
Anthony Johnson does cut a tremendous amount of weight. He's a very big welterweight, and that does pay. You do pay a price for that in your conditioning. There's just no way around it. Good right hand by Anthony Johnson.
Oh, in the knee.
Nice knee.
This is the power of Johnson.
Kevin
trying
Burns
to
gotta
tee
be
away.
careful.
Flying knee again. Burns looking for the takedown. Johnson avoids.
Johnson's very difficult to take down.
Good action there.
Kevin
You said
Burns
it a
might
moment
pull
ago.
guard here.
Yeah, you said it a moment ago, though, Joe. With Anthony Johnson, one strike can just change the whole feeling of a fight. It may even end it.
So explosive.
High school running back Johnson, raised by his grandparents on a farm in Dublin, Georgia. Population 17,000.
Kudos to Kevin Burns for staying in the pocket and trading with him, but you know it might not be the best idea in the world. He got hit right there.
Yep.
Big left hand.
Came right over the top on the exit. Rumble again, caught him.
Kevin Burns keep pressing forward though.
It seems like Anthony Johnson finding his range a little better here at the beginning of this round, though, Joe.
Yeah, definitely. He definitely looks a little more relaxed, and see even the way he checked that kick, moved his leg away.
Yep. Now
Settled
he's
in a little.
He's the one kind of stalking, like Mark Delagrati will talk about, kind of stalking his opponent now, as opposed to Burns being as aggressive.
Nice leg kick right there by Johnson.
Oh.
Go, good left hook.
Oh, Burns says no big deal.
Burns keeps his head straight up. I mean, his hands are below his chin, and he keeps his chin straight up in the air, which is really not the best idea for, when you're facing a striker like Anthony Johnson.
Johnson again with a left. Johnson finding some openings here, starting to pick Burns apart. And there's those low hands you talked about again, Joe. And Johnson's so quick, you don't have time to bring those hands up and block that punch, even if it's the jab.
Yeah, Johnson is, he's got a target in front of him. I mean, Burns' head is literally just straight up in the air.
He's using those push kicks well. Got caught in the eye, I guess, again. At least he thinks so. But he continues to stalk. Johnson, at least from his reaction, you would think he's been hit in the eye 3 times. Mazzagatti warns Burns to watch the fingers. With these small gloves, Joe, that is something that has happened before.
Yeah, it's always a problem when, mostly inadvertently, because of the fact that they're not closed up. Big head kick by Kevin Burns.
Got the leg that time to Johnson.
Johnson's looking to take him down.
And exited with a 1-2. Now he changes stances, does Anthony Johnson. That caught him in the body. Johnson does appear to be fatigued, though, Joe. Another big takedown.
Kevin Burns looking for a Kimura on Anthony Johnson's left arm. He's rolling towards it. I don't know if he has his hands connected. It's tough to tell from this position. It looks like he does, Mike. If he could pop that arm out, no, he does not.
Kevin Burns has talked a lot about the support he gets from his wife, Cindy, who's a CPA, because he keeps a busy schedule as he continues to want to move up the ranks in the mixed martial arts world and here in the UFC, and he wants to fight as often as possible. Last fight was not long ago, June 7th in London, England. About 6 weeks ago. 1 minute remains in the second round.
And talk about 2 tough fights, introductory fights in the UFC. Juan Carnero and Anthony Johnson. Oh, big left by Anthony.
Burns is bleeding from that right eye, Joe. I think it was his left. I don't know if it was his left eye that was bloodied up before, but his right eye is now dripping.
Hands off the mat. Action, guys. Stay busy.
Good control, Joe, in the utilized by the guard. Kevin Burns, he's doing a good job of nullifying the attack on the ground of Anthony Johnson.
Yeah, well, Anthony has done nothing to try to pass. He's just stayed in the guard position and tried to throw punches from there, which is never really the best strategy.
Keep your hands closed on that jab, all right? Fight.
Steve Mazzagatti seems to think that Kevin Burns is maybe doing it on purpose.
Swing and a miss by Johnson. And again,
nice leg kick.
Burns is right in this fight.
Here's some of the brutal combinations by Anthony Johnson. Just a vicious knee, followed up with another knee and another, and left hook. And here's a nice right high kick by Kevin Burns.
Bring it on. Come on.
Great round.
Third and final round. See a little of that San Show and Kung Lee in the striking tonight of Anthony Johnson. Johnson inside leg kick, tried to follow up with the left hook.
A nice counter leg kick by Kevin Burns.
He's had sudden and very definitive knockout wins. 2 of them. The only time he's gone deep into a fight in the UFC, Johnson was defeated by Rich Clemente. He took that catchweight fight on very short notice, though, and ran out of gas. Burns uppercut.
Nice
cut the
leg
jab.
kick.
Leg kick. I saw the jab, you saw the leg kick.
Nice kick by Johnson.
And answered again.
Very nice. Johnson going for the takedown, and he's got it.
You know, the difference in this fight in the minds of the judges, in all honesty, is probably going to be those 3 big takedowns, Joe.
It's very possible. I mean, different people score things different ways. The thing about these takedowns, though, Mike, he's been able to do nothing once he's taken him down. He takes him down. He does not pass guard. He stays in this position, and he has not landed any effective ground and pound.
So do you credit the takedown, or do you credit the ground defense for Kevin Burns?
You got to give him credit for the takedown because he imposed his will. He took the fight to the ground. Kevin could not stop that. But once they're in that position, he hasn't really done much. So it's a tricky scoring thing. And it makes for controversial decisions.
Well, we're 3 minutes, 15 seconds away from going to the judges' scorecards. Johnson trying to stay busy, trying to oppose his will on a very game Kevin Burns. They stand him up again. 3 takedowns, 3 times Steve Mazzagatti has stood him up.
I'm kind of surprised that Anthony doesn't try to pass. I mean, he might be just using those takedowns and getting him into that position and using it as an opportunity to rest.
There's another big takedown.
And again, look, no movement whatsoever to the side. The legs are wide open right there, and he makes no attempt whatsoever to try to pass. And it could be that, you know, this is a grueling fight, and he says, look, I've got this guy on his back. Let me just take a little break here. Kevin Burns, though, is not resting. He's constantly turning. He's got Anthony's right arm trapped, and he would love to do something with it here. You kept hearing Anthony's corner saying, keep your hands off the mat, keep your hands off the mat. And what they mean is his right hand. The way his right hand is trapped on the mat there, it's in jeopardy. If Kevin Burns can pull off an omoplata, if he can get an armbar or something like that, and then again, that's another, the way it's across the body like that was a position for an armbar. But, of course, both these guys are very exhausted. I mean, this is the 3rd round of a grueling fight, and Kevin may very well be trying to bide his time right here and catch a little break and get his conditioning back.
Keep it busy.
Good elbow.
Stand up.
Back to the feet.
Be ready. Fight.
Oh, he's landed some nice shots.
Oh, my goodness. This fight, they're stopping the fight.
Wow.
I'm trying to see what he says.
He said he got poked right in the eye.
Right in the eye again.
I mean, the way he reacted to that was not...
No, that was not the normal, you're knocked out.
That was like a finger went right in his eye. It'd be very unfortunate if this fight ended like this. Let's look at this again.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. You know, Mazzagatti was warning him about it, and that's exactly what he did.
Well, he warned him about it over and over again, so what do you do in this situation?
Well, you got to take a point away or disqualify him. You have to.
Exactly.
Anthony Johnson is in a lot of pain. Those open hand punches of Kevin Burns, he was warned about him earlier, and he finally caught Johnson big time.
Very unfortunate situation here. It was a very entertaining fight, but clearly Kevin Burns poked Anthony Johnson in the eye. You see him react to it. It looked before as if that uppercut landed hard, but it did not. It's the poke entirely. If you see the uppercut misses. It grazes him. He's reacting to that poke in the eye, and it was not the first poke in the eye. He had poked him several times before, And we don't know I don't think it's intentional. I think that's just his style. I think a lot of guys do that. They throw their left jab out there, almost like as a feint, and then they follow up with the right hand, and the hand's open when they throw the jab.
All right, well, let's see how the judges and the officials are going to score this. Bruce Buffer has the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Steve Mazzagatti has called a stop to this contest at 3 minutes, 35 seconds of the third round, declaring the winner by TKO, Kevin the Fire Burns.
Wow. Even Kevin Burns was surprised. Anthony Johnson showing great class in what is a disappointing defeat. He got poked in the eye 3-4 times, but Burns gets the victory. Here's Joe Rogan.
All right, I'm here with Kevin Burns. Kevin, a very unfortunate situation. Give us your take on what happened. Is that a style, the way you throw your hands out there sometimes? It was accidental, I'm sure.
It was extremely accidental. I throw a palm strike with my left hand. I broke it 3 times previously, so I've got to throw it as a palm. I can't throw a closed fist. It was completely incidental. I didn't mean to obviously poke him in the eye. He's a great competitor. He's an extremely tough guy. But I would do it again with him just because I feel unfair in a way. We can do it again.
So you've broken your hand several times, and you try to throw the left jab as a palm instead of a closed fist.
Yeah, I broke it 3 times in 16 months. I have no other choice.
It's a very unfortunate situation. Very entertaining fight up until then, and sorry it had to happen like this.
I had mentioned earlier he fought last December with that broken hand. Anthony Johnson, Kevin Burns showing what this sport is all about. Great class, great respect. They'll probably dance again. Here's Joe with Anthony Johnson.
All right, Anthony, obviously very disappointed. It was a very entertaining fight up until then. The crowd is behind you, and I'm a little shocked. I thought you were going to win via disqualification. Give us your thoughts on it.
Everybody stop booing Kevin, man. You know what I'm saying? This is a fight. Things happen, so give the man his props. He fought me, and he fought hard.
Here's where the fingers went into your eye.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as he poked me, I couldn't see anything, and he caught me with that uppercut. I didn't even feel the uppercut. I don't even know if he hit me, but I felt how his finger went deep in my eye, and I couldn't help but scream. I mean...
Well, it looked like he missed the uppercut, but the fingers landed cleanly, and very unfortunate, and you're always an exciting fighter, and we look forward to seeing you every time you fight, which is it's just unfortunate that it had to end this way.
Thank you. I would like to say thanks to my boy Sly. My after party is at Privé at Planet Hollywood tonight, so everybody come party with me.
Anthony Johnson, ladies and gentlemen.
Anthony Johnson, what a great show of class. Kevin Burns the same. Kevin Burns wins in an awkward way. Coming up next.